our project Discentes, we try to cover 5 major topics. Those are vectors, graph, digital storage oscilloscope, Wikipedia, and entertainment. To implement gestural interactions, we use Bluetooth enabled mouse, Y mode, and infrared transmitter sensors. The same hack used by Johnny Chung Lee. So now that you are seeing a 2-dimensional graph sheet, now if you lightly pull it, you can bring it to a 3 dimension. So now you are seeing a 3-dimensional framework where you can set the orientation of your choice. You can also zoom in or zoom out based on a requirement. One more interesting feature which we added was reference. In reference, you can see many block dots across the space. Each dot represents a coordinate in 3D space. That is, each dot has a x, y and z coordinate. You can also walk into the frame so that it will give a zooming effect. That means it feels like as if you are moving into the digital frame. Suppose if you want to draw a vector, you can click at any point, and if you can pick another point and then click. So now you can see a vector is drawn in the 3D space. So similarly, you can draw one more vector and you can visualize this vector in 3D space. So by this method you can understand how the vectors behave in 3D space and understand their behavior. Now suppose if you wish to add these vectors, you can just click the add button and you can see the resultant in 3D space. Similarly, you can do subtraction, cross product, and many of the options are enabled to do basic vector mathematics. Graph is one of the interesting features which we added. Graph is a real-time geometrical mathematics tool. Suppose if when you go to a particular option, you can see what data it requires. In this option, the lecture board is actually having a mounted camera, so you can see that there is a 3 written on the lecture board corner. The camera will capture the scene of that is number written 3 over there and runs an OCR engine and understands what number is written there. So I'm running the engine now. So when you click on that, the camera captures 3 and understands it by using optical character recognition. So that value 3 is given into the buffer. Now the buffer assigns each value to x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate. And suppose if you want to draw a circle, just go on the circle and then click on that. Now I'm giving a radius value. Now go to circle, click on that. So automatically the value 3 is assigned to circle. So now the circle, you can see a circle in 3D space where x, y, z are 3 and radius is 3. Now suppose if you wish to have a sphere encircling circle, that is a sphere at the same point having a radius 3. Again go back, clear the buffer and go back. And now feed the data again. As I told you again, there is a camera mounted, you can see in the corner, and that reads the optical written 3, and that number 3 is written by black marker on lecture board. So now I'm capturing the value. Now that is the x coordinate, y, set, and then you can select it as sphere now and then plot it. Now if I zoom in, you can see a sphere created on that space. So now you can see that there's a blue sphere which encloses a circle at the same point of same radius. Now actually I'm using a Bluetooth mouse for better interactions. Now suppose if you want a cube to be encircled there, just clear the buffer, go back again and do the same. Now you can see that there's a cube created in that space. So now using this application is a very interactive learning framework. So you can do basic electromagnetic problems You can understand interaction with geometrical objects and maybe even architectural engineering. So you can understand all these geometrical objects in 3D space. One more interesting feature which we give was CRO. That is, lecture board will have a CRO probe. You connect the probe to any circuit and display the signal on the lecture board. So this is a very least expensive CRO which we can create on lecture board. One more option which we given is Wikipedia. The Wikipedia option you can get information online. Suppose if I write 7805 on the lecture board, the camera will understand it and gets the relevant page on the Wikipedia.